Okay, we are ready. So this thing is it's not it's oh I said yes, then you put it off. It's not bright. It's not bright enough. Are we ready? Can anyone hear me? I'm new to this, so I don't know if anyone is. If you can hear me, you can drop a message for me. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yes, okay. I don't know whether it's from my angle here is appear as if my camera, the visual is dim. I don't know if the video quality is enough for today's live session. Please, like, so you sent a message saying yes, you can hear me. Please, I hope the visual quality is manageable enough. If it is, please send me a message again and say yes. Let's proceed. And I also prefer we drop questions on the sending questions. Like I said, what we are going to discuss today, what I'm discussing today, is about challenges facing Odinana practitioners. Most times in the comment section, there is a lot of questions about the practice of Odinana, or some misunderstanding or some of the concepts or some of the teachings I've done. So I think this live session avails us the opportunity for us to ask questions. So please, you can send in your questions in the comment section, and also so that I'll be able to address some of these challenges, because I know that basically a lot of people are worried. I know that some people have questions in respect to divination, sacrifice. Some people want divination. When it comes to Odinana, what most people want is divination. A lot of people are interested in divination, but at times I find it very difficult to do divination for. But I'm suspecting. I'm suspecting that we are going to in one of these days. I'm going to go live and see if I can do alpha divination for committed members, just one or two people, committed members. So, what do you have problem? It's should I don't know whether I should call it spiritual problem, personal problem that you feel that we need to discuss. How do we make our Igbo brothers? How do we make our Igbo brothers? Yes, how okay Ezike is asking, how do we make our Igbo brothers who are Christians to stop demonizing our Odinana? How do we make our Igbo brothers who are Christians to stop demonizing our Odinana? It's simple. It's simple. By being the best version of only Odinana. When I started Odinana, a lot of people were against the practice of Odinana because I was born into a strong Christian family. And right now, everybody in my family is still Christian, apart from me and my immediate, or should I say nuclear family. The rest are Christians. But I can tell you that as of today, they do not have a problem with what I'm doing with the practice of Odinana. There was a time that it was a bit challenging. They were finding it difficult to stomach the change, the shift from Christianity to Odinana. But I believe it's how I handled the situation. One of the things I learned early is that you have to keep your Odinana clean and do not be fanatical. Once you become fanatical in any your disposition, your religious disposition, it brings kind of fight. It brings kind of fight, and an adore. IAB or IAB, is it going to work? Who is going to shift ground? So our brothers who are, we know that majority of Igbos are Christians. So for you to get them, is your lifestyle that you used to win them as Onye Odinana. The problem with a lot of people who are practicing Odinana today is that they are more interested in should I call it the magical aspect of Odinana, and trying to see if Odinana will help them to make money. Yes, to make money. So, but if you start trying, if Odinana makes you a better, brings out a better version of yourself, you become a better person while practicing Odinana. That's the biggest advert. That's what will make those who are still Christian to try to see if they will join, right? In advertising, they say that the biggest form of advert is word of mouth. So what in this context is your lifestyle? Your lifestyle is what is going to help our brothers who are not practicing Odinana to see, okay, in this Odinana. For example, I used to say that when I started practicing Odinana, a lot of people that I was seeing practicing Odinana, I didn't like how they used to dress. I didn't like their appearance. In fact, even the setup of the OB, I didn't like it. I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to do Odinana like this. I'm going to bring a kind of reformation, so that if maybe name Odinana or go, if you see where I'm practicing Odinana, you will feel that urge to join and practice Odinana. So if you want to win people over, you should be more intentional. You should be what? Intentional. You should not argue a lot. You should also avoid arguing a lot with these people who do not who are suspicious of Odinana. One of the things that Odinana, the label that has been given Odinana is Ogu. Ogu. That's why if you follow most of my teachings, it's as if I am always particular about Ogu. It's as if I discourage it. Why do I try to play down on Ogu? Please, I have a question. Can one who live abroad make sacrifice like goat or chicken to his sheep and ancestors? Of course, you can. Of course, if you are living abroad and you want to make sacrifice to your chi and undi from abroad, of course you can do it. There are spirits. Spirits are everywhere. Once you have that environment, I'm answering the question asked by Victor Meko about person living abroad. Yes, you can stay abroad and make your sacrifice. It's possible. They will accept it. See, stop trying to be too much dogmatic. It's them that it's like people, when people used to ask me, will she hear English? Of course, why can't they hear English? They will hear French. She will hear French. Your ancestors will hear German. They will hear Yoruba. Once you are addressing them, their spirit, they hear all manner of language. In the same way, their spirits, they can receive your sacrifice from where you are in US, from where you are in Indonesia, from where you are in India. Just tell them that this is do it instead of calling all these DB, staying abroad and you are calling one DB or one. If you have an environment and it's permissible for you, that means the area is not like killing of animal, making sacrifice is a crime there. Then you go ahead and use your space and do it very well. That's even the best. So we must understand that we should bring a kind of flexibility to the practice of Odinana. Keep sending in your questions. I will answer them. We must bring a kind of flexibility. I keep saying it. This is my motto. I always say the danger one can run into, you see it at the end of my videos, is practicing Odinana how it was done in the past. Odinana is not to go back and revisit the past. No, if you are practicing Odinana, it's not to go back and revisit the past. Some of the ways Odinana was practiced in the past was rigid. Some cannot, you can't do it today. If you are doing it today, you will be an outcast. Society is dynamic, is progressive. So you must also learn to evolve and see how you can do some information. Our ancestors, some of us are returned ancestors. Some of the things we are saying we cannot change. Do you know if you are the one that instilled it 400 years ago when you are in this life, when you are on the earth? So if you are the one that instilled it, why can't you kind of reform it to fit into the modern times? People are very dogmatic and very rigid and say no, it's a lie. When they were practicing on 400, 500, 1000 years ago, there was no abroad, there was no English. But now there is a lot of things, there are a lot of challenges, dynamics, that are a lot of realities that makes that we can now have to reform some certain things to suit into the modern system we are facing, we have now. So we shouldn't be too dogmatic. I always say it. Only if if there is something you need to do, go and do it. Always pray every morning. That's why I keep saying in this Odinana, one of the most important things you should always learn to do is what? Praying Igor Fototo. And you know that Igbo prayer is conversational. We converse with these entities, we converse with our chi, we converse with our ndichie, we converse with the dog. Is dialogue driven. Odinana is dialogue driven. So if there is something that you are not getting right, you ask your chi, please, if my father is alive, can I have my chi? Of course, if you're not living in the same house with your father, if you are living in the same house with your father, you tell your father to help you do the Ekotuchi. But now we have some fathers who are Christian who might not be interested. All you will do is to do what? Ask them. Ask for their permission. This is what you need to do. If they say you should go ahead, then you do it. If you are living under the same roof, always remember that Odinana is family based. So if you are living under the same roof with your father, with your parents, if it's your father, ask for permission before you practice Odinana there. If not, I will say get your own space. Our people will say, Oye puobi mwa amalube. Oye puobi mwa amalube. So get your own space. Once you get your own space, and do whatever thing you decide to do there. Making sacrifice to Awashi, Nwoke Ezike is asking. Making sacrifices to our ancestors is better to use Efi Igbo or Efi Hausa, and which one of them will help in growing our Igbo economy? Now, I will say that Efi Igbo is good if you can afford it. Maybe there is nothing wrong in also using Efi Hausa, because cow is cow. Cow is cow. What makes the difference is that this is the one Ejwene made before. But the reality now is that for you to find Efi Igbo is very difficult because our people are not into agriculture. That's why I'm saying that there are opportunities now. It's just like the fowl that some of us use, or some of the fowl that we use in sacrifice. Some of them come from the north. Even the ram. Because ndị Igbo was into agriculture, which is bad. It's not good. But if we continue and keep trying to start looking for Efi Igbo, it will help our economy. So I agree it will help our economy. But one thing I have tried to do is I don't try to be too rigid. Onwe mmụọ ka si na-insist na-Efi Igbo ka a ga-egbulie is now a different thing entirely. But most ife na nna afọ a na-egburu ha Efi Hausa ha na-anabata maka Efi wee Efi. Ife mele Efi is that its mightiness. Its cost. So both Efi Igbo and Efi Hausa are almost around the same cost. Because sacrifice is about pain. It's about pain. It's costing you something. So both kind of Efi are going to cost you the same this thing. Mano always link even Ebunu or Ewu, onwe ife ya ba asini Ewu Igbo ka ye need. So it's for you to know that particular this thing. Onwe ko nwe ife o da no nke unu ka ya achoba. Onwe nke o achoba nke azulu n'unu, obrodu nke eji ego n'afia. But those things are special occasions. So at times, some special occasion demands that we look for Ewu Igbo, Efi Igbo. But they are very well special and rare occasion. Ke we do sure if ejiwe na eme ife aha na eme ọ na-awụ mostly for ịchụ aja o nwere oke aja anyị achọ ha efi Hausa ka anyị use ha ewu Igbo ka ha ewu Hausa ka anyị use anyị achọwa ewu unu ka ọ wee baa maka nke a home grown o nwere ife dị iche amọnụ na na-aghọta so we must try as much as possible while we are maintaining how things are done in the past. Kai Haledo too what dogmatic. Sir, I have married. Lewis is asking. I have married and I have one kid, and my father, and I am my father, and my father's senior son, and he's a pastor, even a bishop. So we don't live in the same state. I don't know. I don't see the question here. If you have married and you are not living with your father, what is the problem? Your father is a bishop, your father is a pastor. You people will start, one of the things you need to learn in this journey is the importance of education. Mine were rights. Even when I was a Christian, when I got married to my wife was going to a different church. I was going to a different church. I didn't force her to come to my own church. It's a decision I left for her to make. As you have grown and your father is of a different faith and you are of a different faith and you are of a different you want to take another path, religious path, it shouldn't be if you go to your father you argue. Yeah, just follow the person, just explain that you have rights, that you respect how they have trained you as a Christian, but now this is how I want to follow my own path. This is how I used to explain it to my family members that want to. I say we have grown up as Christians. I have no problem with Christianity. I enjoyed Christianity when I was a Christian. But right now that I have grown, this is the path now I want to follow. If I have done any bad thing, character-wise, tell me. But if I have not done any bad thing, stop trying to checkmate my own faith, because I'm an adult and I have the right to take some certain decisions. You have trained me in a certain way. I can decide if I grew up, okay, this is how I want to live my life. Only if I've done an evil act, hold me responsible. But if I've not done anything, leave my own spiritual path for me. It's my decision to make. Okay, there was a brief video that you explained about for Earth and as female force. I didn't say for is female force. In my video, I said that for his male. I'm among the few people that is saying that for his male. And I said that for his water. That Ori as water, as male force. I said Ori is female. But leave all this gender stuff. Don't get too preoccupied with it. Sir, you are here to complete the teaching on Eke, fire, and on air. Which forces are they? These are mystical teachings. Most times, when we delve into some of these things, we just leave it. It's not something you need to. Are you a mystic? What do you want to do with some of those certain information? Another person asked me, how can I have my she? Your she is there already. It's for you to start acknowledging your she daily. Then start setting up altar. I've done videos on how to set up an altar for your chi. You can set up altar for your chi. If you set up an altar for your chi, how do we stop this religion division in Igbo land and balance unity, love, communion between Odinani and Christianity? It will be very difficult. The only thing is maturity and tolerance, but it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult for us to achieve religious harmony. I think it will take a political awareness. All I will say is that Odinani practitioners should start getting more politically involved. That's where they can make some legislation, legislate some laws that will help to breed tolerance. Christians understand the power of politics. Most times, some of us, you know that a lot of people who are into Odinani, as in several years back, are not educated, but now we are now having more educated people, practice Odinani. So if you are an educated person practicing Odinani, you must try and get involved with politics. At times I discuss politics. People say I should not discuss politics as you face Odinani. I laugh at them. Odinana cannot be structured to gain a foothold. You know, Chinua Achebe wrote a novel and said things fall apart. Odinana cannot have a foothold if modern practitioners of Odinana are not into politics. You must, okay, I will give you an example. Look at our educational system. If in school, our children, even in Igbo land here, our children are being taught that the first man on earth is Adam. The first man on earth is Adam. That's what they teach them in school. In school, my child has none of my children have been to church, but they are learning about Jesus. They have not learned anything about their culture in school. Anything they know about their culture is what they learned here at home, what I have taught them. So you see the challenge. So that's why he's interested that if me through you ordinary, you must start getting involved with politics. You must start supporting your own people who are into Odinana, financing them. I keep saying it, that most people who are getting into Odinana are interested in what Odinana will do for them and not what they will do for Odinana. They are interested in how Odinana you make them invincible, how Odinana is going to give them money. They're not trying to see, because Igbos may make a mistake. Igbos are make a mistake here. What they will benefit. Igbos hardly think of what they will invest. They don't understand about structure. They don't understand the politics of culture. They don't understand the politics of religion. About promoting your own, about propping your own. I always say it. There is nothing wrong in teaching that Adam and Eve is the first man. But after teaching it, teach that this is our Igbo position, our own position on the creation of the world. That this is our own position. That the world was created by Ndembo. That our Igbo ancestors called the people that created the world Ndembo. The first people that created the world, that they call them Ndembo. Right? So, are we doing it? We don't. We don't understand that we need to get into government to turn the curriculum to suit our cultural preservation. Harmony. Maka, the strong does not negotiate with the weak. If the Christians know that you people are not politically active and you don't have any place in the corridors of power, why should there be harmony between you and them? You can only have harmony once the people have ideologically differences. Once there is ideological differences, the people who are more powerful will subjugate the ones that are different from them. It's normal. It takes those people for them, or unless they are spiritually mature, for them to have pity on those that they are what? Bigger than. We must understand this. So for us to have harmony, our people, Odinana can be, but I need our people to stop thinking of what Odinana is going to do for them, because it's one of the challenge we are facing in Odinana. Most people who are coming into Odinana, there is no problem if you are coming in with your problems. What will my ancestors do for me? But while you are thinking that, can you also think, what can I do for my ancestors? What can I do to preserve this culture? What can I do for Igbo culture to have more respect, to have more acceptability? Look at the Yorubas. They have packaged their culture so well that as once Nigerian culture is mentioned, it's Yoruba culture that is the symbol of Nigerian culture. When the Igbos were doing Nollywood films and doing it in English so that they will have wider reach, the Yorubas were busy doing Yoruba films and they were circulating amongst themselves. Today, Igbos are killing themselves to watch that Yoruba films. If you do film in Igbo language, Igbos will not really want to watch it. I've done film, I've uploaded it, it's on my page. Go and look at it. 1,200k views. Assuming it was a Yoruba film, I assure you that within 1 week, it will be clocking to 200k views. Even this Odinana that we have started today to discuss, to teach. The Yorubas have been teaching their culture for a very long time. Go and their videos are there on YouTube. They're as old as. Look at any video where they are teaching Igbo culture on YouTube. Highest you will see is 5 or 6 years ago. We are latecomers when it comes to cultural propagation. And in this one we are doing, all we are thinking of is what we are going to benefit. For now, Igbo culture as for invisibility, or for money, for this one. We are not seeing it as a way of preserving, setting up a structure so that you will have more acceptability. Ana alụkwụ na-alụ bife elibe. Ana alụ bife elibe. That's why I have done a video in the past. I say, give your chi and ndị ichie time. A lot of you ya otu chi ha na ndị ichie. Ha ebido gonyewe command. Chim n'ihe emelu m nke a. You do this one for me. You do this for me. You do this. I want to change me for in one month time or in 1 year time. I abandon you. Who na chia na ife emelu na ife ni na eme enwe hisi. No. Ana alụkwụ na alụ bife elibe. Some of these things take time. Why? Because a lot of things fell apart. So we are almost in the period of what? Rebuilding. Rebuilding can most of us name now. So some of these forces, some of these structures, it will take time for them to start bearing fruit again. It will take time. One of the prayers I do every morning, or na go for to for na go, na malo na meli, I alo chabi failure, and I will say that I will not work, I will not eat. So we must invest, we must push. Odinani, we must be intentional in the propagation of Odinani and understand that there will be challenges. Oburo Odinani aburo so keje gbahafa and all this one ka alu nka alu mmiri nka. I have noticed that people are getting tired. Agwa hanike ya agwono. Alu nka. People are now complaining that they have spent money doing this one, and the things have not changed. Hi, please. Is it that I can't have my chi? I can't have my chi somewhere else without anybody knowing. Must I take permission from my father, that is a pastor, before I do that for myself? I think you are the one that said that you are married and you have children. You don't need any permission from your father if you are married and you have children for you to able to chi. I've even done a video on how you can do able to chi by yourself. I've done a video on how you can do able to chi by yourself. I've done a video on how you can do able to chi by yourself. These things are not rocket science. You don't need to do them how it was done in the past. You can do it by yourself. A lot of people have, even physically, they come to this orbit and I will teach them. No matter, even if you give me cow, I will not come and help you and do it. Learn it is you can do it by yourself. Is your chi. And always like in this Odinani journey. Always use your hand to do these things. So you will know that you are not doing anything kind of fetish. Always try to do things by yourself. Stop being in a hurry to go to Dibia's house to do this. That's why I'm concentrating on the intellectual aspect of this movement. A lot of things in a Jelube Dibia we fear many low women. Not too long ago, someone who did Ambo in Dibia's place, Dibia died. And before he realized it has taken almost a year before the Dibia died. And he was trying to think of how to retrieve the Abu that he did at the Dibia's place and left it there. I've seen cases like that with Chi. Do it in your, once you have your own space, do it. Don't need anybody. I've done videos. Use your hand and do all these things. That's why I'm teaching some of you to be more mature in this journey. Send in your questions. Guys, I have like 30 minutes left or 25 minutes left. Because what I can do is that perhaps next Sunday we can do another live session. If we are going to be doing it every Sunday evening, if you can send in your questions, you send in your questions so that I will answer them and I will explain and I will make clarifications. Neba isi na onye ajụjụ ahịa efu ụzọ ọdịnala malụ mma ụdị anyị ejechago school, anyị ejego ụka. I went to church. I went to Bible school. I almost became a pastor. I've worked at professional level and I'm still working. I'm a filmmaker and I'm practicing Odinani. It's not for jobless people. That's why I say that the Dibia should have something else doing. I'm not jobless. I'm a filmmaker. Right? So I want you to understand that Odinana is sweet. It's not something that you should be hiding to do. It's something that you should be proud of. But for you to be proud of it, you have to polish it. Because nobody is proud of anything that is dirty. You have to shine it. You have to do it in a way that you can be able to explain what you are doing. And that's why I try to stop people from too invested in EJB Edibia. You need to understand, we good understanding, so that if you're asked a question, you know what to answer, or you answer the question confidently. You answer the question what? Confidently. So, if we are talking about Odinana, you have to approach it from an intellectual perspective. Modern Odinana. Have your own space, but you need to have your own space once you start going into the practical aspect of Odinana. You need your own space. You need to create your sacred altars. I have done videos about sacred altars. I have done videos about how to bring down your chi by yourself. I have done videos on how to feed your chi. I have done a lot of practical videos. I'm telling you that all these things are what? Possible by yourself. You can do it by yourself. If you are not into illegit things, Odinana will bless you. If you have only ought to go to you and you are feeling that things are not yet working, calm down, it will work. If you work, it will work. You want me to set the camera like this? Is this better? Let me more book. For those who are saying my camera is horizontal, I have for so don't worry. How can one make Odinana great again? You know, we have some setbacks and insecurity in Southeast. What do you think about having something similar to Afiolo in Lagos, Abuja, PH, and other cities? On Abia, like I said, we've started late. Personally, I have some plans, but all these things is gradual, baby step. Yeah, doesn't I also say so? Most times on Abia I also say so, and that's why Africans, we don't go far. We are always quick. Things take time to grow. We will have those kind of deep events in Lagos, Abuja, even in London, in US, good cultural events, like how I do Afiolo. I am packaging Afiolo extra in a way that it can be exported, but time yelubo. If any name with time, if any name will look it. Even the Christians, the missionaries that brought Christianity to Anibo, it took them almost 60 or 70 years to plant Christianity in Anibo, to convince people. It took them time. Yet people think that now we are trying to give Odinana a modern structure. That's it. You, I don't know. I've gave my teaching on Agwo. I said that Agwo is nature. And nature, the first thing about nature is time. That's why spirituality, onye enweghị patience cannot learn spirituality. Onye enweghị patience cannot practice spirituality. Here they made a lot of mistakes. So one of the features of Agwo is time. Only if you work actually Odinani, you must learn patience. You must learn to wait for your time. Once you have asked, you discuss with your she and Undishe, this is what you want. Give them time, they will do it. Go and write this thing down. They will do it. Once it's something that is supposed to be done for you, because some things you might ask will or draw good for you, and it's still time. You show that that request that I was making was useless. Then pattern and rhythm. I always say it, nature has pattern and rhythm. If you understand the pattern of life, you will stop worrying yourself. You will know that a mango cannot produce guava. That a plantain and banana, despite how similar they look, that a banana cannot produce plantain and a plantain cannot produce banana. So it's all these similarities that this rhythm of life that we need to understand, these patterns of life we need to understand, this time of life that we need to understand. Calm down. I've said Igbo Anakago. I've titled my teaching, this movement, Igbo Consciousness. It will only take time. So it's sprouting. We are sowing little seed. And this seed we are sowing will take years for it to germinate and to start bearing fruits. It might take 20, 25 years. It might take 30 years. It will now grow. So we should not, Yadonai say so. Let's avoid kita, now. If we start being, we'll make a lot of mistake. And this is why, even in this Odinani journey, I tell people, stop being, it's because it's so, on our do so that's why we are jumping from one DBA house to another. That's why we are jumping from one DBA house to another. What is your opinion of Osu system? Is it still practiced in your region? If not, should it be? See, let me tell you, inequality is a fact of life. Osu is not practiced as it's been done in the past, but it's still practiced. What is elitism today? It's another kind of Osu. If you enter Christianity, that Reverend Fathers and Reverend Sisters don't marry, is it still not Osu? It's still Osu. So Osu is a inequality. Osu is a kind of class society that the Igbos created in the past. And I'm saying that every society will still have class. There is no society that is classless. Inequality is an aspect of life. Look at your fingers. So it's left for us to redress a kind of, build a class of a society where the rich do not oppress the poor, or where one class do not summarily oppress the other. But if there will always be class, there will be a class. So Osu is not there as it was in the past. But we have modern, like, what do I tell people? I used to say that, what is civilization? Civilization is new ways of doing the same old things. Civilization is still the same ways. It's new ways, devising new ways of doing the same things we are doing in the past. I'll give you an example. Human sacrifice. Has human sacrifice stopped? People will say yes, it has stopped, but it has not stopped. When nations when nations have soldiers and recruit their soldiers to go and fight on their behalf, are those soldiers recruited? What was the reason that people don't like going into joining the forces? Is because they know that they may end up sacrificing their life for their nation. Now, you now enter into occultic. What does occult mean? It means hidden. People who are using human sacrifice for another other aspect of, maybe let's say, mystical aspect, they have still not stopped. They just hide. They don't do it publicly. How when society accepted it. But has it stopped? No, it has not stopped. It has not stopped. People devise new ways of doing it. Even the mystics now devise new ways. Some mystics physically can kill a goat, but on psychic level, they have taken a human being. So this is a changing world that does not really change. It's a changing world that does not really change. It's still coming and going. It's still coming and going. Just like years back, our ancestors, some were using animal skin and some kind of clothes. Now we are using a different kind of clothes to wear to cover our body. They lived in thatch roof and mud houses. Now we are building brick houses, block houses. We are still building house. So we have new ways of still providing shelter. So the society we are in evolves, but most of those things that they used to do and people say that is not, that people are still doing it. Okay, we have like 15 more minutes. I have like 15 more minutes. How can I get Alpha language from my calling? Now let me say this. I think this question has made me to say some certain things. There are things you can learn online. There are things you can learn online. There are things I know I cannot teach you online. You must come physically for me to teach you. And if you come physically, I will tell you what it will cost. Most of us, we should try as much as possible not to abuse the globalized existence we are living now. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. If you want to learn Alpha, you need to be Alpha, bully you, or what condition you do more for you, or you go see Alpha. Right? So there are some certain things that is difficult if truthfully you want to really learn it. You can't learn it online. Even books on Alpha. I've met a lot of books on Alpha. It will not really, what it will give you is, assuming you are doing research or you want to have a little more insight on Alpha, that is what it is going to do for you. Oh, yeah, Alpha, ya mugosi Alpha, on Alpha amalo, on abia na mu okuziwelu gie. I've met a dibia, no one taught the dibia Alpha, and on agba afọ gini. O jele emu ọmụta ha. Mbisha ọnọdụ ya na ezumezu ya akuziwelu eye. Only you hold that spirit of prophecy inside you. Or you see you came with Alpha. Because Alpha is spirit of prophecy. Or do so all this Alpha is just a way of expressing it. What of the Christian people? Don't they have prophets? Hana Wafa or Hana Wafa. Apart from those that have eaten Usenabo, masquerading as pastors. Only way to spirit of prophecy. More brogodo Igbo and in other religion on a who prophets. Prophecy or a prophet in Abafa telling you what will happen or what has happened in the past. Is the ability to look into the future. So if it's there, if you have the gift, it will activate. So thank you, JB. Thank you, JB. If you have the spirit of prophecy to activate, what of other cultures? Don't they have prophets? Do they use divination? Some use cards. But what I'm saying is that if you want to learn it, it's good, you can learn it, but you need to meet someone who is skilled in it and tell the person. So, and if you really want to learn it, it's not something you learn online. Trust me. A lot of things, a deep aspect of Odinana, of the Igbo tradition, if you want to learn it, is a physical thing. What we do here, or what I try to do on this space, is intellectual. But when you start trying to learn some deep things online, you are now opening yourself for you to be taken advantage of. The tendency you'll be taken advantage of becomes high. The tendency you'll be taken advantage of becomes high. It's just like people who are trying to meet DBAs online. A lot of charlatans online masquerading as DBAs. That's why I used to ask people, don't you have DBA where you are from? Why not try and learn your family history, learn your community history? With time, that thing you are thinking that is not in your community, you know that is there. There is no community, there is no family that does not have someone who is inclined. It's just that you nature taboho. It's not that not raw. I've always said it. Agwo is agwo. It doesn't finish. Family owner, community owner will under agwo. Because agwo. They can be passive, but they cannot be obliterated. You can't say it's obliterated, it's no longer there. Mba, it's always there. It's always there. Hello? Sondara TV. So that's why if you watch my video where I said about 7 steps you are going to follow if you are new in Odinani, I always say it, do not rush, learn. Then I said go and learn your family history, go and learn your clan history, start there. Odinani is rooted in family. If you don't know your family history, it basically is there. I say na what I'm on the near farm on the issue, more on that couple. Yeah, man, them now. You must go and learn about your own people. So some of these things you people are running around, meeting one is one, meeting this one, doing the same mistakes people are doing in Christianity. There is no family, there is no community that doesn't have a prophet. And the reason why some of you meet online DBs and at times it doesn't work, or go that far and meet some people, it doesn't work, is because you have not immersed yourself with what is at home or with the people that they kept for you at home. You jump them over. Some of you are familiar with the Christian Bible. In the Christian Bible, that Daniel was prayed in a strange land for the first time. What happened? And they sent an angel to deliver the answer to the prayer. What happened? I read it in the Bible, the book of Daniel. The prince of Persia, the gods of that land, as in hijacked the angel. He stayed with them. The angel stayed with them for 21 days, explaining what he came to do. That's how some of us go very far and do some certain, spend so much money doing works on that wall because we have not acclimatized with what is at home and get their permission before we are going to go and do what? Source for outside powers. So we need a certain level of understanding to understand this thing. Remember, he said Agwu is about what? Time, pattern, and rhythm. You must understand the pattern, how things in a brick by brick process usoro, so that things will work. I don't know if I'm communicating. Now I have like 6 minutes left. If you have any question, I would like to entertain question. What I thought I discussed today are challenges facing Odinana practitioners. The practice of Odinana, how we can improve on our practice of Odinana, and I entertain questions I entertained questions from a lot of us. I gave clarification. I gave clarifications. I hope those clarifications were helped has helped some of us who asked the question. I thank a lot of you that came in. JB, Efeanyi Chukwu, Nwoke Zike, Victor Meko Owulu, Ibushi Bernard, Lewis Major, Mojisola Osiyemi. Okay, so okay, a Nigerian shamanist, Amalachukwu, Anabelundo. Thank you for watching HEDME. We have done another interesting sitcom, Igbo sitcom. We are hoping that it will come out in big streaming platform. We took our time to do this Igbo sitcom because all we are doing in Ikolomo Media is trying to project Igbo consciousness. And we are, apart from teaching, we are trying to also use film to do it, and we are doing it with what we have, knowing that it's going to get better. We are going to improve. We have big plans, and we are taking it little by little. Ikechukwu Okike, thank you for coming in. Thank you for liking today's teaching. Sondara TV, thank you. You said you are from Enugu. Thank you. Enugu is not far from Nnewi, where I'm teaching you people from. JIB, I say thank you once again. So, in my dream, one man take me to the river and gave me offer. After that, they gave me alpha. After they gave me offer in the dream, they gave me alpha. Then use Oja and pray and ask the people that gave you offer to come and help you, for you to understand. Most times he's wanting to dream, then you must learn how to seek for the interpretation, and you need to be seeking it in your daily. That's why I keep saying don't joke with your daily morning meditation. So if you wake up, I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to Sondara TV. What was the thing you do in the first thing in the morning? If you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? As a true Odinani or as a true spiritual person, if you wake up in the morning, what you should do first is your quiet time, your meditation. As an Igbo person, you go into your chamber, into your altar. It's there you recollect the dreams you have and try to find meaning. While discussing, while dialoguing with your chair and Ndishe, try to find meaning to that your dream. If it's difficult that you cannot crack it, you write it down. You write it down. The meaning will come later. The meaning will do what? Will come later. So that if it comes 5 months or 6 months or 1 year, you will go back to that book where you wrote it down. Right? So if they have given you alpha in the dream, even me, they gave me a alpha. That's how I went to look for the kind of alpha I'm using. But I don't do public alpha for people, because what I'm called to do more is to promote Igbo culture and not to do work, spiritual works. I was told to buy Usoji in my dream. I did so in my dream, but don't know what to do with it. You might be told to buy Usoji. Usoji might mean another thing. It might not be the physical alligator pepper. You know that dream can be literal and it can also be metaphorical. For example, you can see yourself driving a car in the dream, or you are being told to buy a car. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean a physical car. It might be a mission. It might be that they are telling you to prepare for a mission, for an assignment. So at times, you can see someone. That's why I tell people, be careful. You can see someone die in a dream. Let's say you saw a husband die, and you went to go and tell the man. It might not be the man. It might be the man's brother, or it might be the man's wife. Dream at times can be metaphorical. That's why it's dream. At times it's not direct. So if you are told to buy Usoji, first you can go and buy the physical one and keep. Then with time you just buy it and keep. But if it's metaphorical, you will later find out why it is metaphorical. The thing is that, do we ask question if we wake up in the morning? Do we ask question? Don't wake up in the morning with just mapo. You must ask question. If you remember your dream, you meditate upon it. When you confused, you ask your forces, your Izumes at your altar. Oh, thank you, Amala Chuku. You are an amazing teacher. Watching a young person simplify this, which we used to fear so much, is so refreshing. God bless you and keep empowering you, Mr. Tobe. Nze Tobe, thank you very much, Amala Chuku. Thank you for your comment. Please, what should I do whenever I have a dream that is not clear to me? Now, some dreams, you don't need to worry about them. It's not all dreams are important. I've always said that striking dreams, you remember them. Most of us dream every night. Some make sense, some doesn't make sense. If you wake up in the morning, don't crack your head over those ones that those fleeting ones. Most strong dreams, when you dream it and wake up, everything is clear. But if you do not trust your brain, keep pen and paper, write them down. Keep pen and paper and write it down. Once you those ones that are very clear enough, when they want to send you a message, it's always clear. It's not confusing. Some dream, you know that as some dream in dream state at times is our spirit being that inhabits this body continuing its, you know that one man a mystic will call him that he's always, he laughs when someone dies and they write rest in peace. Who is rested? Is this spirit? That spirit does not rest. When you are sleeping in the night, it's this body that sleeps. So the spirit that owns this body continues doing other activities. So at times, your subconscious try to pick some of those activities through dream. That's what we call dream. So it's also that spirit at times that engage, or they try to send a message and we get it through what? Dream. So some activities our spirit engaging that we are seeing subconsciously through dream doesn't make sense. So some of them are not what we need to worry about. But the important ones are the ones we need to worry about. And I say, how do you know the important ones? Most times you don't forget they are striking. Except those that have the unfortunate this thing that they don't dream at all. I pity those people. If I meet anybody that doesn't dream at all, I pity that kind of person. Okay. I would like to stop here. I don't want to exceed 1 hour. A few people want us to do this again, to be doing this. I can try to see if I can, I don't know if I can be doing it every Sunday, but every Sunday evening. But if that's what you people decide, I don't know. We might try to see if it's going to work. I'm not making any promises, but I wouldn't want to exceed any. Oh, Alice, someone sent me $10. Thank you very much, Alice Effiong. I appreciate. I wouldn't want to exceed 1 hour anytime I come live. I believe in less is more. Even in my videos, I try to make sure my videos are not long. Okay, so thank you very much. I appreciate. If you still have some questions, you can write them and keep them. Perhaps next Sunday we'll come and do it again, or next time when I come online again to this live. I also enjoyed my time with you. Thank you very much. How do I end it? I thought you just said another. Eh?
I think it has ended.
Should I click here? Is it here that I'll click? It has not ended. Are you sure I want to stop streaming? If I click OK, eh?